Hello YouTube. So it turns out, there we go, there's some shit on the road. Turns out the video I made about riding a MT-07 at 6'5" reached the correct audience, because I noticed in the comments some of you guys were asking some questions that I am about to go and answer for you. Main ones being the seating position and how comfy it is to ride. So what we'll do is we'll pull up down the road, I'll stop the bike and I'll walk you through it all. See you in a sec. Alright, so you all want to see what it's like being 6'5" on the MT-07? Well, here you go. This is the position of the knee when my foot's dragging the rear brake, and if my foot is on the back peg I'll have to hold the front brakes on a bit of a hill, and that's the bend of the knee. As you can see, it is quite a severe bend, but this all depends on your body, you know, just the way your frame is, because I've got long legs but I've also got quite good mobility, so for me really this is not an issue. The only fatigue I'll ever get is if you're riding for a couple of hours at a time is, one, the seat hurts your ass. That's pretty normal for any bike, and two is the hips. It quite hurts on the hips sometimes. But as you can see, comfortably flat foot this. Stand up, not an issue. Sit down, still got a fairly severe bend in the knee even when I'm sat down. Yeah, so as you can see, when I'm sat down there's still quite a severe bend in the knee, which if anything is quite an advantage when you talk, so you can put your foot down, full stability, full control of the bike, no need to tiptoe around, and if you do happen to stop on a slight slope then you can comfortably still keep the bike under control. That's never an issue for me, it's never been an issue for me. But obviously when you're tall, I'm not trying to flex, but I go to the gym, I'm quite strong, so that's the bike. The weight of the bike has never been an issue for me. We'll switch the engine off, save some emissions for the environment. So what I'll do now is I'll get off the bike and I'll just show you what it's like me standing next to it, because this is sometimes why you feel a bit silly, because when I stand next to the bike, yeah, I'm pretty big. Someone did put a comment on, there was another bike, I can't remember what it was, another Yamaha, more like a cafe racer style. I do apologise, I should have looked at your comment before I did this video, but I didn't. But I can't remember the name of the bike, but I do know what bike it is, and I've never actually had one, but I've sat in one, I've seen one, and obviously having this, I would have to recommend this one, because the I think the overall seating position is the same. So if I get back on, the overall seating position is the same, but that bike you're on about, I think physically looks smaller than this one, and I don't think this looks like a physically big bike when I'm sitting on it, so I would have to recommend this one purely off size. Obviously you do what you want in terms of what bike you want, but that would be my choice. But take it with a pinch of salt, because I do own this bike, so obviously there's going to be some bias in my opinion. The most crucial point for me is, in terms of my knee, is there's quite a sharp edge there on the plastic fuel tank cover and the actual plastic fairing there. Two quite sharp angles, but thankfully your knee just slots underneath it, and as you can see my knee does stick almost out to the Yamaha badge, but thankfully it does miss that, because before I got this bike I really wanted the Aprilia Duro, something, I don't know, Duro, something like that, some silly name because it's Italian, that Supermoto style one. But unfortunately on that one, although it's taller than this bike, and you'd think it'd be better for me or someone with long legs, there's a very sharp cut off there and your knee bangs into it every time and it's very uncomfortable. So that completely wrote off that bike, unfortunately, because I do really like the way they look. Right, here we are, the other side of the bike, and something I never considered or even thought to mention is these fuckers are size 13, big boots, okay, and that little gap there is like, you know, almost 4 fingers worth of gap. So I never considered this. I mean, thankfully it's not an issue, but I don't know, it's something to consider. Maybe when you go on into a dealership, if you could bring your boots with you and see if it's comfortable for you to flick through the gears quickly. Something to consider, because that is not a big gap. When I get on my Honda CRF 250, which is, you know, a dirt bike, the space between there is massive compared to that. So if that is an issue for you, then obviously it's a different bike to consider if that's an issue for you. But as you can see, I mean, this is how I'm riding most of the time, okay? So hands on the bars, foot in this position. Obviously my other foot would be up, but this is pretty much what it's going to be like. And quite a severe bend. If I'm cruising, I'll knock the foot back on the peg like that, or, you know, if you're going for a bit, then you keep it in that position so you can flick up and down. So yeah, so I hope this video would be somewhat beneficial. I've never done a video like this before, so the camera is literally on a rock, which I stole from that wall over there, and you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, overall consensus, if I was to finish up, then pretty much like I said in the review when I was riding the bike, nothing about being this size should put you off getting this bike. Obviously it's pretty, everyone's got their own thing, so if you've got an injury, or you know you can't physically bend your knee as much for a long period of time, then yeah, it's going to be different for you. But I'd say the vast population of anyone who's, you know, around this size, don't let it put you off. At the very least, try it, and then go from there, see what you think, because you will definitely be impressed. Really, the only downside is, which I haven't changed, mainly because out of laziness and because you can still kind of see, is these mirrors are practically useless. I mean, you have to fully move your elbow out of the way to like see through the mirror, or twist your head. That's the only thing. But I mean, to be honest, mirrors on bikes in general are pretty crap. I know someone commented saying, I'm glad you didn't put the gay bar end mirrors on, which is funny because I was going to put some gay bar end mirrors on, but it is what it is, you know. I mean, you got to be able to fucking see, aren't you? So just one of them things. They're pretty shit mirrors. I mean, but I think if you were normal size, pretty good mirrors. But when you're big, broad shoulders, tall, shit mirrors. But I mean, other than that, there's not much else to it. I mean, I feel like a bit of a cunt. I got my phone on a rock and I'm speaking about a bike, but it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, some of the next videos I want to do is how to pass your test. I mean, the eagle-eyed viewers among you would know that this is actually where I recorded the walk-around video of the bike. And I did actually mention in that video that this is what I wanted to do, but I want to explain more how the tests work and how to pass them, because this country is pretty stupid in regards to that. So I'd love to be able to do that in the future, which I'm going to do. But like I said, I don't take this seriously. I just do what I do on this channel. So if I'm in the mood to record a video, then I'll do that. I'll record a video. I got a bit of free time today, so that's why I'm here. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Peace.